Hello there and welcome back. We are here and I am looking for I'm going to be honest. I'm looking for what number episode this is and what is the title. Hold on one second. Okay, I found it. We are here at episode 32, being who he created you to be in motherhood and your coaching business. Let me say that again correctly. Episode 32, being who he created you to be in motherhood, your home, and your coaching business. I am Amberly Devers. I am a certified life and business coach for Christian life coaches. And I am so glad that you are here. If you are watching this on YouTube or live on Instagram and you're like, why is her head so close to the screen? Why do I just see her head and a microphone? There is an explanation. Go back to episode 31 and I will fill you in, and I won't take the time to do that now. So I just want to make sure all the right things are playing and recording the right way, and they are. I also mentioned in last week's episode that I am working on a new content purposing organization system that I'm going to be teaching my mastermind students in October. And it has me like a little, it's really, really new in my mind as I'm implementing. And so everything feels a little wobbly right now. And my setup is definitely wobbly, like from a technology situation. Anyway, let's get into episode 32, being who he created you to be in motherhood, your home, and your coaching business. Have I said this before, like in a million different places and maybe in a million different ways? Why, yes, I have. But the way that our brains work, we must hear this over and over and over again. And that is this: the world needs who you have been created to be in your home, in motherhood, and in business. And it's like I was telling my girls the other day in the car, I said, if you focus on the gifts and the talents that God has given to other people, be it in volleyball or in artistic ability or appearance, you name it, then you will not be able to focus on the ways he's gifted you. And of course, sometimes a child thinks they have no gifting, and I have to remind them, but wait a second, you're hospitable to others, you're friendly, you're inclusive, and you're funny. Like being funny will get you far. Trust mother on this, okay? But the same goes for you and for me in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, in our 50s, in our 60s. And I'm going to say even in our 70s, because I actually have life coaching students in the academy in all of those ages. So, when I started my life coaching business, I had experienced six-figure success in a different business. Now, during those few years of that business, I learned everything about online. Okay, everything's a bit extreme, but I learned everything I implemented. Let me say that. I didn't learn everything, but I learned everything I learned and researched and implemented from a couple very good friends, Google and YouTube. And of course, I purchased a lot of like little courses and programs and a $37, content map or whatever some of the things were. And I can have continued to do that until recently when I made a very, very substantial investment in a coaching mastermind that required me to, I was staring off into space if you're watching live, sorry, but has required me to operate in a level of commitment and constraint that I have not used before. So I will not be purchasing many more of those anytime soon. I have enough to last me a lifetime, I'm sure. But anyway, so what I was saying is, I purchased these little courses and programs, but there was the most important part of my business journey and my business growth and my business success that was something that could not be researched. And that's what set me apart and continues to set me apart. And it's also what sets you apart. And that is the part that God Himself has created in you and in me. It's the part that he has created through mentoring and meeting people where they are in their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual journeys through you, just as a person living in honor and service as a believer in your life, right? And then you couple that with your own personal development and life experience and personality. And that makes you exactly who he's created you to be for all of the roles in which you serve in your home and in your life and in motherhood and your church and your business and for your clients. And that is where I really realized that all of my life, I had just been coaching. Right. And I mean, when I think about some of these things, I'm thinking about like even as a young mom, when I was a young mom, and now I do some mentoring with young moms, but it was like little bitty areas that made my home run smoother, whether it was a way that I organized, homeschool things or the kitchen cabinets, right? Like one of my most favorite, and y'all probably know all these songs already, okay? But this was like 14 years ago when we didn't have quite as much of information available to us. But I thought I was a genius when I created this drawer that housed all of the kid dishes. Because hello, when you have like 5 kids, 7 and under, there's a lot of like kid plastic dishes and cups and sippy cups and all the things that are like being washed daily. So when you've trained your 2-year-old to unload the dishwasher, unload the kid things, they get to organize it in the kid drawer, right? So like any new thing that you have experienced in life for your home, for business, whatever, you coach it when you share it, right? You influence others, you make an impact by helping them improve an area of their lives. And yes, you aren't getting paid for that yet, I'm sure. But that's what I'm talking about in terms of who he has created you to be. God has naturally created you to be someone who helps other people in an area of life, right? Now we just have an occupation label to give it, and you can actually create an income doing so. So, with that said, where was I going with that? Let me get back onto my train of thought. I kind of like diverted from my outline here. Give me just a moment. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. Okay. Well, anyway, all that to say, all of my life, I have basically been coaching just like you. And it's why you're here. It's that fire behind the business that you desire doing so. But here's the truth: being passionate about spurring others on to step into the highest versions of themselves that God has created them to be is simply just not going to be enough to create a business. You're going to have to either invest a lot of time into my friends Google and YouTube, which I still invest in, and I still meet with them from time to time when I need to. So you obviously have that as an option, but it doesn't. You must know, however you choose to figure it out, the foundation of starting your business. Okay. Now I had done a lot when in terms of business growth and online marketing and creating systems for my business and automations and all of these things that I had learned, taught myself. Google gave them to me. YouTube educated me, all those things. So I did naturally come into my life coaching business with a level of experience and tools and strategies and skills that I didn't have when I was first starting out, right? And even with all of that, I still hired a coach to help me. And I was so grateful when I found this coach because she actually helped me create my life coaching business in a way that was very simple and very strategic and very calm. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea it could be this way because my other business was not. So anyway, but you must actually learn and establish a foundation for your life coaching business. I actually have a client in Christian Life Coach Mastermind, and which is separate than the academy. And she's a go-getter. I'm like, I'm a go-getter too. I get it. And so her actual work right now is to slow down because if you scale your business, if you 10x your business, you're going to actually 10x every little intricacy that is actually not working well. I'm going through a process of my own right now of slowing down. And you're just going to have to do that from time to time, even when you are creating a simple and scalable, calm business. Because just like the closets in your house and the drawers in your kitchen, even though they have a system, like every so often you have to go back through them, declutter, reorganize, and your business will be the same. So you will go through periods of speeding up, you will go through periods of slowing down. So it's but above all of that, or I guess beneath all of that, as it relates to the foundation, it begins with believing that you're a life coach, trusting that you've been created for this, knowing how to price and package your offer, communicating the value, the results that working with you will provide. You have to communicate that to prospective clients. And then you're going to have a simple client system for consults, for invoicing, for your personal process for coaching and scheduling your clients. Things just, things that you may not even be thinking of in the beginning. So these are actually the things that I help you with each step of the way in the Christian Life Coach Academy. But before all of that is simply a decision. And it's the decision that only you can make. I can't make that for you. Your husband who thinks you're incredible and need to do this can't make this for you. Your kids can't make it for you. Your grandkids can't make it for you. Your best friend, your pastor, your, spiritual mentor, no one can make this decision for you but you. And this decision is to continually believe that the world needs who God created you to be, and continually trusting that those dreams that you hold in your heart most tenderly have actually been planted in you for a reason. I was actually reading today, and I communicate with my mastermind clients through Voxer, and I do private one-on-one coaching there. I'm actually pulling up my phone right now to read this, but one of my clients said this to me. She said, because I had given her the assignment of slowing down a little bit and transferring a lot of data that she has on paper into a spreadsheet. And she said, even this morning, I thought I will pound out this data stuff so I can move on to making offers again. And I said, I'm all for like pushing, right? But are you able to push this hard the rest of your life? No, because that's not a very enjoyable way to achieve your dreams in your coaching business. And so I said, I'm all for pushing. You know that about me, but you just have to rest in between the pushing. I mean, think about it. Even in delivering a child, right? Resting in between, or else your body is going to force you to. And so she went on to say, what did she go on to say? Let me see. Oh, she went on to say, when I get in a hurry, I find myself working like out of my flesh, and God doesn't get in a hurry ever. And I need to follow his lead on this. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so crazy you said that, because just this morning I read John 6:63, that it says, it's the spirit who gives life. The flesh is no help at all. I was like, whoa, okay. So much for thinking that I had all the skill and expertise and experience. But the words that I have spoken to you are spirit and life. And, and that's just a reminder that, yes, we have these dreams and we're going out into the world and we're, gaining experience and expertise, and we're doing this job and we're doing this work. And yes, it's with our hands, which are made of flesh, but beneath that, those dreams, those ambitions, that creativity, that has been actually planted in you by your creator, and they are there for a reason, right? So you can have all the journals and the printables and all these ideas, but those aren't enough to create your business if you're not implementing them, first of all. And you're going to find yourself implementing them better, if you will, when you have a solid foundation to starting your business, both in heart, in mind, and in the math of what it takes to run and manage a very simple life coaching business. So I was actually going to pull the audio from this last week's coaching session. I was coaching Lana in the academy. She is no, I wasn't coaching Lana. I'm sorry. I was coaching Anne in the Christian Life Coach Academy, and she is a homeschool mom. And we were coaching on something about how, just like her primary desire and primary calling is nurturing her home and managing her home and being a mom. And I was like, and we were kind of talking about that and how it shows up in business and all the things. It was such a great coaching session. Everyone, like the thread of comments was like blowing up about it. And I said, it's so crazy. I said, I want to share with you very vulnerably how I'm walking this out myself right now. And so I was actually going to have Rayleigh cut the audio from that. And then I was going to have Lainey, who um, produces or who edits my podcast, pull it together. And I was like, you know what? We all have it's just not necessary right now for anyone's bandwidth. But it now is going to make this podcast a lot shorter. But anyway, so I just kind of want to share with you here what I shared with the ladies in the academy on that call. And so what I was sharing with them, oops, I didn't bring my readers. I do have my journal with me, but I didn't bring my readers. Anyway, I was sharing with them, I said, it's really, really interesting. Most of the time, I would say a majority of the last year, up until the summer, home and motherhood and life felt very, um, it felt very smooth. It didn't feel very bumpy. But 5 kids on 5 different sports teams right now, and the schedule of it started in the summer, right? I thought it was gonna be summer, and it was, like, not summer. It was literally strategic management of who goes where. It was a game of who goes where tomorrow every night for, like, 2 hours. And it's all good stuff and fulfilling and full of fellowship and community and ministry and all the things, but it was like, "Oh my word." Like, this is like an interesting puzzle I have yet to experience in life. And so that just kind of started where things didn't feel quite so smooth. And so I'm finding myself now spending more time self coaching in the mornings on life and marriage and parenting and homemaking than I have in a while. And so I was sharing with them what I found coming up for me was feeling anxious and afraid and angry and annoyed and rushed. And I'm sure you're probably nodding your head. Yes, I feel all of those things. And those feelings were coming from some of these thoughts. So I just, you can't nod with me and you can't like anything right now, but I love it when you come to me or share a review here on the podcast and you're like, oh my gosh, I related so much to this, or I relate so much to this podcast. Thank you. That's always so helpful. But I said that I feel like, we've got sickness, we've got busyness, we have hustle and bustle, feeling like I have to be on with being so prepared just for like the next day as it relates to basic survival necessity, like sheltering, clothing, food stuff. We're not talking above and beyond right now. And my thoughts that created these feelings of anxiousness and fear and anger and feeling annoyed and rushed are it's going to always be this way. And sometimes it feels boring, like, oh, it's so monotonous. I don't have what it takes to enjoy it or make this go any better. And, it's always something. I'm just not ready. Um, oh, here's a good one. This is a real helpful thought. I'm ready to stop being needed. Okay, just reminder, I have 5 children, 15 to 8. I feel like I'm going to be needed a little bit longer. I said another thought was I have to hurry up for the next day. Nothing feels calmed or settled. Everything is loud and chaotic. And when you think that way and when you feel that way, the actions you're going to take is you're going to avoid everybody. You're going to detach from everybody. You're going to grumble. You're going to complain. You're going to neglect your own personal well-being. You'll procrastinate. This is me. These are my actions. Indulge in dread, lash out at people, say unkind things. Wait for this one. Are you ready for this one? Stare out into space and fantasize a different reality. Okay, you heard it here first, folks. So here's the thing. That was on like one particular day. 2 days later, guess what kind of thoughts are coming back with a vengeance? Same kind. These kind of related more to work, right? I have so many things to figure out and organize. This house is a mess. I can't get settled or situated. 6 hours, 4 days a week is not enough time to build this business. Something has to give. I can't get ahead. How will I do all of this? Right? Guess what kind of emotions those will create for you, sister? Feeling bothered, angry, frustrated, irritated, overwhelmed, and annoyed. Raise your hand if these are like your low level emotions as a female woman, mother, wife, right? We do. This is why I love self coaching. I love the concepts that I teach and that I practice. They have changed my life, they have saved my life, and not like Jesus did. Okay. But you know what I mean. So, anyway, what I want to share with you is those were what I call and refer to and teach kind of your default model, right? Your default model is just kind of like how you wake up with your brain sometimes, the thoughts you think, the way you feel. And when you self coach, you actually give yourself the gift and the ability and the privilege to create a deliberate model, right? The thoughts you have to think deliberately so that you get to experience emotions that motivate and create the actions that actually have you showing up for your life and for your business and for your family the way that you desire. So, circling back to Anne getting coaching on, do I even want clients, right? Because I'm so fulfilled and love just my job as a mom and homeschooling in my home. Like, I love that too. And I said, oh my gosh, it's so interesting because I kind of shared those thoughts that I just shared with you. And then I said, because what's kind of and I didn't even realize it, like, I've been doing this really for 5 years. It definitely felt different when I stepped into my own business. I have my own overhead. I mean, like, it's just me, right? Like, I'm the one that does this job. I mean, I have someone who helps me, but in terms of, like, intellectual property and growth and development, like, it's all my own. And, but I still don't consider myself a working mom. And maybe and maybe there's some things that I need to kind of coach myself on and evaluate, but I still feel myself and see myself as a stay-at-home mom. And like, I love that. I'm so grateful for that. And so the thoughts that as I was like feeling this kind of like disconnect between, the bumpiness right now of our lives. I mean, we've got 4 dogs, 2 are puppies. We have 5 kids on different sports teams. We're building a house, which is requiring my husband to be a little more away from home and less available in the day to day because he's managing that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So let's just reevaluate this situation. And I was just, for the first time in a long time, like, this feels weird. Like, when it wasn't my own business and I was still doing very well, it felt like more of a side hustle that I added to being a stay-at-home mom. But then when I kind of moved into my own business development, I was like, "Oh, this actually feels different. This feels more like working mom." I didn't realize until about 2 years later that apparently that was and that I don't really have words for it right now. Maybe I will one day. You're kind of like seeing me like process through this on the fly, but what I did realize and that I want to share with you now in case you find yourself in this kind of chasm between the work, I don't want to work too much. My primary calling and desire for influence and impact is in my home is as a mom. I just want to share with you that I'm at multiple 6 figures in my business. I very much feel like this is going to be $1 million business. That's the path that I'm headed. But you know what I feel? I think I'm going to cry again. I cried on this coaching call. What I feel the most and embody the most and believe about myself the most is that I'm really a stay at home mom. And I love, love, love that I get to have that and that I get to experience that and that I get to be that mom and that I get to be that person. Like, it is not lost on me. And so anyway, that just makes me really happy. And so these were the thoughts. And I just want to offer those to you if you're in that chasm too of like, wait, I've got this big business or I'm growing this big business and that will require some more time from you than others. But for the most part, you still can do so by still primarily being a mom. Okay. And so my thoughts are I'm a stay at home mom more than I'm a working mom. Like, when I sat down and looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm a stay at home mom more than I'm a working mom. As a stay at home mom, I have created a multiple 6 figure business. I plan my home and family life, and I fill my business into the cracks. I'm a stay at home mom married to a husband who has supported me from day one. I am a stay at home mom who makes time for my business after my home, my family, our calendar management, getting people clothed and fed and where they need to go with the things they need. I'm a stay at home mom who is imperfect, but perfectly me with all of my strength and his. Even when I am working, I am physically near them and I'm in our home. I include them in my work as I'm able. I am an example of what is possible to moms, even the ones with a lot of children. I don't quit. I figure out how to make it all work as best as I can. I am a mother. Of course, I'm really tired at the end of the day. I'm also proud of the way our family dynamics support the exact family unit he created us to be. I know that I will never run out of ideas or ambition to achieve the goals and the dreams that I've set as a stay at home mom. So, this just really got me. And I was like crying on that coaching call, and I'm now crying on this podcast and this live video and YouTube. So, welcome to Amberly Devers Coaching. This is all available to you in the Christian Life Coach Academy and Christian Life Coach Mastermind. So, I just want to encourage you today that it is possible to be exactly who God created you to be. As a matter of fact, it's the only way it's possible is to be exactly who God has created you to be in your home, in your business, and in motherhood. The decision is just continually believing that the world needs exactly who God has created you to be and continually trusting that those dreams that have been planted in you are not only there for a reason, they have been planted by your creator. So, if you are ready to make your first 3K or 30K in your life coaching business, I want you to join the waitlist for the Christian Life Coach Academy, my lifetime access program with weekly live group coaching and daily written coaching. Enrollment will open again in November, and you can join the community of women who have made their first 3K, 10K, 25K, and almost 50K. When you join the waitlist, you'll receive priority enrollment, exclusive access to coaching and teaching, and the option to enroll early, as there will be limited spots for the November enrollment period. Now, if you are a member of the Academy and you want to accelerate your results by working together one on one and within a small group of others doing the same, I want you to apply for Christian Life Coach Mastermind, the 90-day business accelerator. We begin October 25th, but apply now so that you will have first priority when the next round opens. I want to give a big congrats to Christian Life Coach Academy student, Kathy, who posted this in our Facebook community after a recent coaching session. She said, "All I can say for now is thank you so much, Amberly Devers, from the bottom of my heart. Your coaching is life giving for me. And the revelation alone through this coaching is worth the whole investment and then some for being in your Christian life coaching business program." So I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you next week.